Okay, I have to confess. I get way too serious in my head about everything. Makes for quite a bit of anxiety and tension. And it was cool because today, with that exercise that I mentioned on a different video about the exploring the fear, the last part of the exercise was, okay, so we spent like 10-15 minutes getting, like, trying to go like deep, right? And so I'm taking it seriously. I'm like, what are all my fears? And then, like, shortly thereafter, after we sort of confess it to another person, right? That was part of it. Was we just take the paper and we just rip it up, like, without a hesitation. It was just like, all right, and now we rip it up. I was like, whoa! But I just spent all that time writing it down, and you know what was interesting? My reaction was joy. To go from kind of like trying to take the whole exercise seriously and like get in there, and I think in my mind I feel like it has to take a lot of time. I have to sit with it and be with it and just get really serious about my transformation. But then it was just like, just literally rip it up next moment. Dance around and experience the freedom of the playfulness that maybe I don't have to take this so seriously all the time. And it was a reminder about adding more playfulness in, because you know what? Okay, you know why I get so serious about all the things? Because there's like a pass-fail mentality that I do still carry, where like every decision is like, this is the ultimate decision. And one leads to success and one leads to failure. Like, seriously, like, not every decision, but like a lot of them. So much pressure. And it was this really cool reminder of how we can actually access, or at least I can actually access, a lot more playfulness than I've been allowing myself. And with that, all of these things don't have to be so significant, and like they are significant in a playful way, in the fact that life gets to be joyful, but not that it has to be this like incessant war of, am I gonna win or lose? Whilst assuming that you're probably gonna lose. So sad. So then, okay, so I took that, and later on, I thought about other things I've been trying to decide on, and it suddenly just felt a lot easier, or like these decisions aren't going to change the trajectory of my life. Like, because I think too, there's an element where when I make all the decisions about pass or fail, I'm putting a lot of power outside of myself for what's going to get me to where I want to be and what's not. Thinking that I don't have that agency. That's like the underlying belief that's not really always conscious, that I don't have the agency to make it happen. So this decision about this thing outside of me, I better get it right. And so I've been really coming to that realization about like, hey, making that conscious and challenging it, and reminding myself like I have the agency. No matter where it is, that maybe it's like choosing where I stay for a month or something, or like where's the next place I'm going to stay, because I've been traveling. And if I leave this one place, does that mean I'll lose out on opportunities? If I go to the next place, will that be the place of opportunity? And I'm like, okay, what if you are the opportunity? Like, you get to create that. Like, yes, I still deal with fear, and sometimes I like certain environments that help me to feel more relaxed, and other environments make me feel less relaxed, but facing that fear could be part of it. Or it could be letting it be imperfect, that there might be spaces within those places that are allow me to be relaxed enough to do things like this, talk about my thoughts on camera. And because this is part of what I wanted to do, is share my thoughts and create this space of living yesfully, which involves this, but requires more playfulness, even from me. And that's where I'm at with this journey, right? Inviting more of that playfulness in realizing that it also like reduces the mental load a lot. There's no wrong choice here. In each moment, I'm showing up to whatever's in front of me and inviting myself to be more of me, to bring more of my own presence to it, rather than run away from the fear. Because there's likely going to be fear either way, because that's something I deal with currently. But like, what would this next moment look like with more of me in it? What if I do that right now, even? Yeah, I feel myself moving from a little bit more up in my head down into my body. I feel a bit more relaxed. I don't even have to figure out where the end of this video is going to go because I was pondering that. What am I saying? What is it good enough? But I'm just here right now with you. If you're here with me, and that's awesome if you are. So, yeah, what if this moment right now was inviting us to be more of us? Even if that's just be present to a fear around a decision, to let ourselves feel it, to maybe invite some more playfulness, to just breathe. And I think too, like, have that trust, or remind ourselves that we can trust ourselves. Because I think, like that part around the agency, or allowing myself to remember that I'm the one who's creating all the things, right? Who's moving myself forward, not the outside circumstance. Then I think it also requires that trust in myself to be present to the outside circumstance, rather than sort of a control around making that outside circumstance perfect so that I can show up because it's been made perfect just for me. That it is perfect because I can always invite more of me. And then I don't need as much control, because playfulness is a sort of joyfully letting go of control. If that makes sense. There's like a joyfulness to it because you don't have to be in control, and yet you are in control of you, because right when you're playing, you always get to choose what like you're going to do next, how you're going to approach the thing. And so like there is that centeredness within yourself. Wow, like the outside part is just could be complete chaos, but like in a fun way. Right? If you've ever played with other people, or like you don't know what's coming next, but that's the point. That's what makes it fun. If you're in a game or something, right? But like the lack of control is fun in that case, because you're wanting just to be in the moment, showing up to the next thing. Where's the ball going? So yeah, I wonder if what it would be like to look at life more like that, rather than this big, huge, significant thing. Because like it is, sure, but also it's not, and you've got these, crazy short years in this rock moving around a star. And the irony is that enjoying your time is really the point, regardless of what you produced in your life. Because you probably get to the end of it and you're like, I really wish I had produced more joy in the moment. So, yeah. Listening to the music in this little pod thing.